Good afternoon and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's webinar. Today we're exploring subcontracting basics in our Subcontracting 101 training. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator. And today I'm joined by our absolutely fantastic procurement specialist, Liz Brazil. But before I pass it off to her for the main presentation, I do want to let you know a little bit about Norcal APEX Accelerator and how the nationwide APEX Accelerator services can help you with government contracting. So, what exactly is an APEX Accelerator? Well, they're a network of centers that are funded by local, state, and federal grants to provide education and training to businesses just like you who are looking to contract with local, state, and federal governments. We are primarily funded by the DOW, and we have 96 APEX centers nationwide. And we all cover a certain regional area so that we're able to offer those local businesses one-on-one assistance with anything related to government contracting. As you can see, we have about 7 centers in California alone. But what exactly does Apex Accelerator Services look like? What kind of assistance could you get from one of these nationwide centers? Well, at NorCal Apex Accelerator, we're able to offer our no-cost government contracting assistance to the 15 Northern California counties that you see on your screen. And we offer them through 3 main pillars of service. First, our one-on-one counseling, where once you are onboarded with us as a client, you're able to schedule a meeting with one of our procurement specialists to sit down one-on-one and cover anything you need help with regarding government contracting. Whether you're looking to do the initial market research for your business to find out what agencies are buying your products or services, or maybe you already know who you want to target and you want to get certified and registered for them. Or maybe you're a little bit more experienced. Maybe you've subcontracted before and you're looking to become a prime contractor. Our procurement specialist can sit down with you one-on-one via Zoom or in person if you're in Humboldt County or in the Bay Area, and they'll help you develop whatever plans, help you get your registration in order, and really help you push forward on your government contracting journey towards your contracting goals. Another fantastic service that we're able to offer to our clients is our custom bid matching program. Now, this allows you to sit down with your counselor one-on-one and decide what kind of criteria you're looking for in a good solicitation for your business. So maybe you can only perform your services in a certain geographic location. Or maybe you're looking for a very specific industry contract. Or perhaps you're a new startup with an innovative project or product that will kind of revolutionize the industry. And you're looking to find government agencies who will benefit from that and help you pay to develop it. We can help you with all of that, and your counselor can help you figure out what keywords would mean the solicitation is good for your goals. And once you're able to sit down and really define that criteria, your counselor will put it into our system, which will scour state, local, and federal procurement sites for solicitations that you can bid on that are relevant to your business. And the best part, it sends these opportunities directly to your inbox for you to review and decide on. It's a fantastic service and one that I would always recommend signing up for once you are a client. And that brings us to our third pillar of assistance, which is one you're actually taking advantage of right now. We put on a number of virtual and in-person trainings throughout the year covering basic and introductory topics like today's Subcontracting 101 to more advanced topics like covering the federal mentor protege programs or the federal government-led innovation programs. We put on, I believe, 60 to 80 training events over the course of the year all at absolutely no cost to you. And the best part is whether or not you are within our service area, you are always welcome to attend our events. If you're in SoCal, or even if you're joining us from the East Coast, you are always welcome to register for our webinars. And if you are willing to make the trip, you are always welcome at our in-person events. Another fantastic benefit that we have for you is our website, where we maintain a ton of links, resources, and information to help you really educate yourself on government contracting and stay up to date with the latest changes as well. We have covering the government certifications that you can get. We have specific pages dedicated to contracting with Caltrans and how you can really succeed at that, and a ton of other information for you to explore on our website. And again, this is regardless of if you're within our service area or not. This is information and resources that are here to help you. So please do check out our website. And if you are interested in more in-depth personalized assistance, please do sign up with us at apexnorcal.org/join. But if you're not within our service area, please do not worry. Remember, we are a nationwide network of centers here to help you with government contracting. So if you are located outside of our 15 county service area, there is absolutely an Apex Accelerator near you who can help with your government contracting goals. And with that, I am delighted to pass it off to Liz.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I hope you are having a wonderful day. So far, it's pretty warm out here in Alameda County, so hopefully it's cooler in your area. Subcontracting 101 was originally presented in 2025 by Frank Luna and updated for 2026. As Amanda mentioned, my name is Liz Brazil, and I have been working with Norcal APEX for 7 years. Prior to that, I have worked for government agencies for 35 years and have previously served as Business Diversity Manager for Santa Clara VTA, where I was responsible for projects and programs compliance, including monitoring prime contractor payments to subcontractors. Today, we're going to be covering these topics. This webinar is designed to provide you with an overview of the unique advantages of subcontracting on government contracts. You will learn about subcontracting basics, locating bid opportunities, marketing to primes, and reviewing contracting agreements. You will gain an understanding of the subcontracting processes that govern how public agencies conduct businesses and determine whether subcontracting on government projects is the right fit for your business. Today's webinar will cover many of the critical aspects of government contracting and the tremendous opportunities it can provide for small businesses. To succeed, small businesses must understand how subcontracting works and be prepared to offer practical, innovative, and cost-effective solutions. My biggest takeaway for you is to learn how subcontracting works. Every big journey begins with small steps, and subcontracting can be an excellent way to get started. Throughout my 35 years in government contracting, I saw firsthand how small businesses can evolve and grow. Before we get started, I just need to read the training disclosure. The information provided herein is accurate to the best of the presenter's ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. So next. So the first part is subcontracting basics. Next. Government contracting is basically you have the government agency, which is the owner. It could be federal, state, or local. And then the first the first thing is the prime contractor. Typically, this is a large business that have a contract directly with the owner or government agency. Within the prime contractor, they may have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So this goes on. The prime contractor agreement is between the contractor and the government agency. The subcontractors agreement is between a subcontractor and the prime contractor. And of course, it could have sub-tier. We at VTA, when I worked there, we had a system. It's called B2G now. It can track every single contract. It can track the prime, the tier 1, tier 2, all the way down to tier 10 to 15. So that's a big one. And at Santa Clara VTA, the last project I worked in was phase 1 of the BART to San Jose. It was a design build contracts valued at, I believe it started out with $702 million, but because of the task order contract amendments, it grew to $880 million. And with almost 73 tiers of subcontractors, no, I'm sorry, 73 subcontractors with various tiers. And I believe the subcontractor contracts, total contracts was $114 million. This contract aims to extend BART service to San Jose. The prime is responsible for construction, including track installation and station development. The project is expected to improve connectivity between the Bay Area and the South Bay. The one thing to understand about various projects, whether it's federal, state, or local, look at where the funding sources are. Sometimes a transportation agency is tasked with projects from the federal. So there's federal funding, and then there's state match, and then local. So you have to look, when you're looking at subcontracting, where the local contributions to state and federal fall. Because depending on it, if it has $1 federal funds, you have to comply with the federal acquisition regulations. If it's state, then you have to comply with the California Contracting Code. If it's local, then you have to look at local ordinance. But normally, most large projects has a mix of funds. So next. And the biggest takeaway I have for you is to learn about subcontractor flow-down clauses. These are contractual provisions that require prime contractors to pass mandatory obligations from their prime contract down to subcontractors. The effective flow-down management requires careful review of all contract clauses to ensure they are applicable, necessary, and aligned with the subcontractor's specific scope of work. These clauses are very important because every single government agency, whether it's federal or state, have a series of departments or considered teams to ensure you are in compliance, such as quality standards, safety protocols, regulatory compliance, labor standards, and payments. That the prime contractor is obligated to meet under its contract with the owner or the government agency. Next. And the key aspects of the flow-down, the purpose is to bind the subcontract to the prime in the same manner that the prime contractor is bound to the owner or government agency. These clauses, as I mentioned, will have to comply with the regulations, the FAR, DFAR, or anything regarding training, safety. It could be, in here, in this case, it's labor compliance. Something as simple as prevailing wage laws, right? At the time that the contract is issued, or the RFP is issued, or IFB issued by the government agency, they will include in the procurement documents the prevailing wage requirements. You can look at the link. It's very unlikely they'll include it in the procurement documents because it's very, very large, right? So they normally will include the link and you have to go in there. If you are not paying the employees the prevailing wage, you can have issues with the labor compliance and also the laws such as the Davis-Bacon Act. Certified payrolls, just like where I used to work at Santa Clara VTA, we used to have LCP tracker. Every single prime subs will have to submit certified payrolls. If the prime contract has prevailing wage and you are not paying prevailing wage as subcontractor, the prime could be penalized. Okay? And these are some of the risks that the primes have, is to ensure that their subcontractors are following the flow down clauses incorporated into the agreement, right? So if you're not paying the electricians the $50 or $70 an hour and you're only paying them $30, there's a penalty for that, right? And the penalty will be applied to the prime. The prime will notify you that you have failed the clauses in your agreement. It's a risk because it's very unlikely they may use you for another project if it's going to be a risk for them, right? So it's one way to learn to really review the subcontractor flow down clauses. Remember, federal is different from the state, and the state is different from local. But understand what you are signing. Next. Government contracting, as I mentioned, has regulations. The large business awarded a negotiated contract over $900 million or $2 million for construction must have a subcontracting plan. This is under FAR 19.7, and also it applies to all federal contracts. Assurances that the offer will include a clause utilization of small business concerns in all subcontracts that offer further subcontracting opportunities. Okay, so it's really important to understand the subcontracting plan under the FAR regulation. Next. And for the state, you can go into this link here and it will define the commercially useful function. When I was a business diversity manager, commercially useful function was very important because you have to make sure that the subcontracting portion or contract awarded is really something that a subcontractor is performing. They are just not listed as a subcontractor to fulfill a goal, whether it's small business or veteran. In some cases, on federal funded contracts, they may have a DBE goal. Okay, so a subcontractor will not be considered as performing a commercially useful function if its role is limited to that of an extra participant in a transaction, agreement, project to which funds are passed, in order to achieve the appearance of meeting a participation or a goal. Okay, right, next. And there is a lot of subcontracting plans out there. There's templates online that you can review. And also, if you have a DBE goal, you can also have a subcontracting plans. But at this time, because there's a reevaluation process for DBE certified firms, the goals currently are not applied to federally funded projects. But as soon as they complete the reevaluation process, they should update. So next, in here, it's really important to develop your subcontracting plan. Here's instruction about cover page, executive summary, business goals, good faith effort. Good faith effort, you have to demonstrate it. Okay, there's various ways. How did you reach out? How did you train? How did you include? There's a lot in the good faith effort. There's also solicitation and awards, subcontracting procedures, reporting requirements, because as part of the contract, you must report your subcontracting plan. And in addition to that, certification and representations, you have to either provide information that they are certified and you are meeting the required representations. Okay, next. Subcontracting as a prime. FAR 52 to 1714, and then there's a California section. It applies to federal and state. There's a small business set aside, and the percentage cost of the contract is explained here. Next. Subcontracting as a subcontractor. Currently, there's a 23% for small businesses, 5% for women-owned, 3% for hub-owned, 3% for veteran-owned, and small disadvantage. There's a lot of changes occurring lately regarding some of these programs. So it's best to review them and also to ensure that if you are certified 8A and DBE and so on, that you check and verify the recent changes to regulations. The state of California only has 2 programs because of Prop 209. Right now, there's a 25% in all contracting for small businesses. So that for all contracts, there is an overall of 25%. They have met and exceeded this in prior years. There's a 5% for disabled veteran. And this one, I believe, according to last year's, and again, correct me if needed, they have not met the DBE, disabled veteran business entities. So next, important considerations. There's advantages and disadvantages. Gain hands-on experience. And a lot of times is you can actually join a mentor protege program. Help meet federal goals. And it's also a way to assist you with contract bonding. Sometimes the prime will have a special bonding for their subcontractors. One thing about subcontracting is even though you do have the clauses part of the regulations, the prime still holds the responsibility for the contract. And it's really important that you do work closely with the prime to ensure that you're in compliance. It also provides you with steady work and access and experience to a larger federal contracts. Okay. And of course, there's disadvantages. What I have mentioned is the slowdown. You have, communication is basically between the owner and the prime, and you may not get the same communication. Larger primes are more complex in purchasing process. The bidding strategy can result in lower profit margins, right? It's your piggyback on the prime's contract. So compliance and adapting to prime's way of doing and government regulations. One of the things that you may consider is doing the mentor protege. I know Caltrans have one, and inquire also. There's an SBA as part of the 80 program, a mentor protege. Next, locating opportunities. This is really important, right? Finding where you can have subcontracting opportunities. And you can have the link here for the Army, Navy, Air Force. They also have the GSA. It's really important to review GSA, especially if you're a small business. And also for state of California, there's also a similar program called CMAS. You can click the link here and inquire about CMAS. Or best yet, ask your procurement specialist about these small business specialists. Next. Prime contractor directories. These are for federal. The Department of Defense, which is now called Department of War, has these links. SBA and also the California DGS through Cal eProcure, which is the California marketplace. So next. And these are some of the prime contractors, there's so many of them. As I mentioned, working for VTA, BART, Alameda County Transportation Agency, we had many contractors, prime contractors from District 4, also Caltrans. So next. Register with primes. There's also prime small business liaison officers that you can reach out to. Okay. If you need assistance with that, let us know and we can help you. The prime can assist you with some of the requirements for FAR, and also they have they can assist you with the statement of work. If you're not able to directly work with the prime, you can also reach out to your local chamber of commerce because they will be able to help you. Subcontractors may be referred to as a trade partners. Primes will have a subcontractor free qualification process. And as I mentioned in the flow down of the clauses, the prime contractors have to be fully aware of those clauses because it is a risk for the primes. And in most cases, if they're working on 800 or 700,000 million project, they're going to make sure they pre-qualify you. Right? So be aware of that. And if you're able to meet with them, or if you're able to attend some of their networking events, I would highly recommend them. Okay. And Also, Norcal APEX can help you with reaching out to prime small business liaison. We have that information. In some cases, they do advertise for help, seek help from Norcal APEX to advertise their projects. Okay? And we can share with you the contact person, their email, their phone number, and the type of work they're looking. So next, find federal opportunities, and this is really important. The opportunities are listed in the SBA subnet without link. And if you click on California, you will go to that website. Next. And when you click and search, it will filter out all of the projects and programs in California. And it will have information, the point of contact, the codes, the closing date, and so on. And when I clicked on Piper Road and sinkhole repair, next, this is the information that's provided, and it's a way for you to reach out to them. Okay. So finding federal opportunities, you go down to SBA subnet, click on the area where you want to work. In this case, I selected California, and then you can drill down and look at the actual notice. Next. There's a lot of other areas where you can find federal opportunities. One of them is acquisition.gov. Here's the link. And this will provide you with procurement forecasts and many other things. Next. So the acquisition provides agency procurement forecasts, small businesses, business opportunities, vendor communication plan, agency industry liaison directory, and building a pre-bid strategy, right? So again, if you're interested in subcontracting, your APEX procurement specialist can assist you. Next. And here's the biggest one, you know, in order to do any federal contracting, you must be registered with SAM. Okay? There's no chances of you bidding on a contract unless you are registered with SAM. I had a client a few years back and he was so excited and he said, oh, I found these opportunities. I started putting my proposal together on bid. And I said, well, are you registered in SAM? And he didn't know what SAM was. So normally, if you're registered in SAM, if you have all the validation, your IRS information, then you can register between 8 to 10 days. So he didn't realize that and missed the bidding. So if you want to do any federal contracting, you must be registered in SAM. There's various ways to do it. You can review some of our webinars, or you can contact your procurement specialist to assist you. So next. And for state opportunities, you have to go through Cal eProcure. Similar to SAM, where you register for nationwide opportunities. For the state of California, you must be registered with Cal eProcure and have a bidder's account. Once you have a bidder's account, you can apply for small business or disabled veteran. But the nice thing about it is, one of the things in here is I didn't have the registration, but if you are registered and you have an account, you will have something like post vendor ad right beneath the red block right there. And once you post it, you can review the vendor ads. This is a free advertisement, you know, for primes seeking a sub or sub seeking a prime. Another thing too about Cal APEX is you can do some market research, find out what opportunities you have out there. And also the state of California has small business advocates. There's a listing out there that you can reach out to and get information. Okay, next. This is something too that I've added here is opportunities with agency Caltrans. Caltrans have Caltrans Contractors Corner with this link, and they have all the opportunities that's currently advertised. And Caltrans have District 1 to 12 from Northern California all the way down to Southern California. And similar to Cal eProcure, you can opt in and decide to advertise your service. In addition to this, you can reach out to primes seeking primes, contractors looking for help. Okay, next. And the nice thing about this is the prime will post the different types of work or subcontracting work that they would like assistance with, right? They have a person to contact, they have their email, they have their phone. You realize a lot of times when you're trying to reach out a prime, it's so hard to find out who to talk to. And majority of the time, you're probably just leaving a message for their secretary, right? In here, here's a specific contract or project. Here's the type of work they're looking for, and they provide you with a contact information. So next. Pre-bid, a pre-proposal meeting is a meeting between the contractor and government agency to discuss the project requirements, answer any questions, and clarify any specifications or plans, right? Before the bid is submitted. When you go, it's a great opportunity to also meet with potential primes, right? So arrive early, bring your capability statement, bring your card, and find out if you can meet with them, right? Because that's the point, is to meet, agree, and maybe spend some time discussing potential work. What I always tell my clients is when you have a capability statement, you can actually convert your capability statement into like a 45-second high pitch, right? And once you have that pitch, propose meeting with them. Or it could even be a virtual meeting, right? And that's where you can actually have a presentation, share your brochure, share your website, but the connection is the pre-bid, pre-proposal meetings. Next. Yeah, this is the same thing I had mentioned is that, sometimes if there's a plan and needs clarification, you can actually talk to a project manager and it could reduce some of the errors before finalizing the bid. And also, this improves the delay, or cost overruns. And it gives an opportunity for networking, right? At VTA, when we had the BART phase 1, we actually have a day where there was a networking. And it was attended by almost 1,000 people. It was that big. But again, some of them were successful because they were able to work as a sub on a project. There was even one area I had a photographer or video person, and he said, Liz, I don't know if I can do any work in here, but it's such a big project, right? Is there any opportunities? And I said, you know what? You never know, right? And sure enough, they met a prime who was selected, and they needed a drone video of the overall project, and he was hired. Who wouldn't know, right? Somebody who takes photos and videos hired for a $800 million project for the BART Phase 1. But I have to tell you one thing though, their reports look really good because of those pictures, right? So next, bidding tips and best practices, build relationships ahead of time, be selective and ensure your qualifications match the requirements. We have copies of Scope Water that it's a template. Be competitive. Do your homework. A lot of times, the most difficult part is your cost. And one thing that people don't know about is you can actually ask for copies of proposals and bids through the Freedom of Information Act of FOA, or you can ask under the California Public Records request, right? So as a professional engineer, you can say, okay, how did I rank according to the other proposals? What are my strengths and my weaknesses? And then also provide you with a copy of the proposal, right? So that's one way to be competitive, and one way for you to know what's your best value or lowest price. So next, marketing to primes. Okay. So there's a lot of things, as I mentioned, the best way is follow the money. Okay. And a lot of these have um, information that you can actually do research on, because a lot of the agency will post their look ahead projects. And if you want to dig deeper, go look at some of the board meetings, because it will explain the different types of projects, the funding, and other information, right? So do the research and analyze the competitive landscape. Who are the potential bidders and experience and capabilities, right? Do you meet the minimum requirements? Do you have the similar experience? Those are things that you can do, and we can help you. Next, network for relationships. We have in our website a template for capability statement, and use that and prepare a draft for our review. And at the same time, develop a high-level pitch. Like I said, 30 to 45 seconds. Some of the clients are saying, oh, I can't do that. It's really hard to talk about this. Hey, you don't have to talk about anything except what's in your capability statement, right? And the nicest part is you have phones now. You can record yourself talking for 45 minutes or 45 seconds, right? Or if you have a wife or children or even your pets, you can talk to them for 45 seconds and develop your high-level pitch. It has to flow naturally. So that's why I said, don't do anything extra. Just keep what you have in your capability statement and your core competencies. Okay? And the intent of this is to be able to follow up, right? And meet with them, get to know them, so that they'll be able to provide you with information. Hey, we have a look ahead. It's coming up. Here's a project. It's in your area. So get to know those contracting officers, and also get to know the project managers. They can talk to you before it's advertised, but they cannot talk to you after it's advertised. You got to go to the contact person noted in the procurement documents. So next. And this is the nice thing, you know, if you're able to attend, I would highly recommend that you meet them in person. Norcal APEX have a list of events, and I just got invited to the San Francisco Small Business Fair that's happening. So we'd love to see you, we'd love to meet with you, we'd love to help you. But better yet, it's the best way to meet the agencies, potential prospects, and primes as a subcontractor. So attend those if you can. Next. And as I mentioned, follow up with them. You know, don't let them go. Make sure you keep in touch with them. And this is a great way to work and network. Next. Final considerations. So, one of the things that you have to really cover is the flow down process. Okay. Even if you have to have legal counsel, I would suggest that you reach out to them. Okay. Everything that you do, remember, it must be carefully written. You don't want a prime giving you additional tasks and not having an amendment or a task order. Okay. I can't tell you enough how many experience I've had where a subcontractor reached out and said, I haven't been paid. And I said, well, let me look at your task order. Let me look at your amendment. I didn't have any. Then why did you perform the work they were asking you without an agreement? Right? To them, as a prime, they cannot pay you unless you have an agreement. No matter who the supervisor was or the manager, they probably forgot. They already asked you. Okay. So when accounting comes up and say, well, the subcontractor is asking for payment, but I don't see any agreement or a task order indicating that type of work. So you got to consider that. You know, just because you have an agreement, anything added to it, you must have it written. Okay. Also, there's other considerations, scope of work, payment to subcontractors, terms and length of the agreement, you know. So seek legal counsel if you can. As an owner, we can only review compliance if you have an executed agreement. Okay. All right. Next. So know and understand your statement of work, carry out flow down requirements, manage employees or any subcontractors. And again, as I indicated, if you're a tier 2 and you have the flow down process to your tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, make sure that you manage them. Okay? Because the liability is on you managing your subcontractors. Oversee the costs, schedule, and performance, just like anything else. Contract management is probably one of the number one tasks. Maintain administrative financial records. It's really important because for government projects and programs, they can audit you many years after the project and programs have been completed. I think even 5 years. Again, correct me on that, but you gotta keep your records and make sure that you maintain them. Payment to sub-tier contractors, you have to comply with the agreement that you had with them. If they say you must be within 30 days from the prime, then have that same clause to your tier 2 subcontract. Submit reports and invoices to prime. Okay. It's really important that you submit them on time. Normally, the prime will tell you exactly what the date, the cutoff date, the time. And if you fail to meet that cutoff date and time for your invoice, guess what? You have to wait a whole month to be paid. There's no exceptions. Okay? If that is the requirement, make sure you follow them. I've had some subcontractors reaching out to the owner and said, we haven't been paid. When did you submit your invoice? Did you meet the cutoff time and date? There's nothing we can do if you don't, right? So contract compliance is key. Next. Price consideration, pricing, know your true costs, document, right? Make sure you have full documentation and for audits or anything else. You do have to have a lot of project management skills, especially on large projects. And if you have subs working for you. Next. Final advice, get everything in writing, right? And use a plan, schedule management tool. Gantt chart is probably one of the most popular one because it provides you with key milestone schedule, right? Track all your costs, direct, indirect, soft costs. If you are using an indirect cost rate, you may have to submit and have approval to use that rate. And sometimes small companies cannot afford having an accountant audit for the indirect costs. So you may have to accept Caltrans indirect costs. And they have a PDF of all the different types of services and, what percentage. So for example, professional services, you may be able to have 30%. So whatever your cost is, your indirect cost could be 30% on top of that. But you have to check and verify and also make sure that it's an approved ICR. If it's not approved and you just completed your audit, then make sure that you have it approved. Meet all the deadlines, develop plans, create file for each project. And most importantly, if you need help, contact Norcal APEX. Okay, next. And that's all I have. And hopefully I did not extend the time, so I do apologize. But I am one of the 6 counselors for Norcal APEX. And I'll turn this over to Amanda.
Absolutely. And Liz, that was a great presentation. I loved all the real life stories of subcontractor experiences that you've had. That brings so much value to this presentation and to the audience. So thank you for all of that. And yeah, as Liz had said, please do connect with NorCal APEX Accelerator if you're within our 15 county service area. But do remember, APEX Accelerators is a nationwide network of centers here to support you and your government contracting goals. So please do connect with them if you're looking for in-depth government contracting assistance. And I do see we are quite close to time. I do want to let you all know a little bit a little bit about our upcoming events. I saw a couple of questions about contracting certifications, which is amazing. We have a webinar you may be interested coming up next Tuesday called Contracting Certifications for Small Businesses. We'll cover the woman-owned small business certification, the veteran-owned small business certification, the Hub Zone certification, 8A, and a couple of other federal certifications that you may be interested in receiving. And if you're looking more to do state contracting, we do have some trainings that might be of interest to you and some networking events, as we have three in-person workshops happening this June across our service area. On June 5th, we'll be in Redding, California with Caltrans District 2. In On the 25th of June, we'll be in Santa Rosa with the city and counties. And then in San Francisco, this is the largest networking event we put on, and that'll be happening June 26th at 10 a.m. So if you are interested, you'll be getting these slides and the links to register for this within 1 week of today's date. So please do keep an eye out. We would love to see you there. And then now let's go ahead and get into questions. So we do have one question I would like to start out with. It sounds like someone in the audience has been getting email offers to help with the bidding process, which refers to the government bids. They're asking if this would be collusion, but I believe this would be more of a consulting business outreach who's hoping to exchange that assistance for money. I know we do get a lot of folks who come to us after paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for consultants to set up their profiles, their registrations, their certifications. But that's all something that Norcal APEX Accelerator can help you do for absolutely no cost. So you have done the absolute right thing by attending this training and connecting with Norcal APEX Accelerator. And please do connect with your local APEX Accelerator to get that assistance at absolutely no cost to you. And then Paul was wondering, Liz, this is a great one for you. What's the best way to work with primes as a supplier? Is a supplier different from a subcontractor?
Not really. The best way actually is to reach out to our procurement specialist and they can work with you. A supplier, professional services, or construction, they're the same. If you're working on a project like the one I had with the BART Phase 1, we had many suppliers.
Yeah, awesome. And then I know that we as counselors and as a program cannot recommend any specific technology. We can't point out one as the best. But is there any subcontracting technology or software that you've seen used in the industry?
There's so many different ones that I've seen, and it's hard, and you have to really do some research and find out what works best for you, you know. And as Amanda mentioned, we are free. We don't offer any cost. You're more than welcome to reach out to us and we can provide information on some of the things that we know.
Yeah, we can really help you explore the options. And then the final decision is, of course, yours because you're the one making it.
Yes.
And I do see we are at the top of the hour, and I absolutely love this question to end on because this is a huge question. If the project is funded by a mix of funds, so federal, state, and local, which set of requirements apply? Do all three requirements have to be abided by, or just the highest, as in like the federal side?
It's the highest. So if we have $1 of federal funds, it's federal compliance with FAR or DFAR.
Okay. And so you don't have to comply with the state regulations, just the federal?
The federal um, oversees the state and the local. So you have
Okay.
to comply with the federal.
Good. That's really good clarification. That's something even I didn't know. And with that, Kali, I do see your question. I think that is a great question, but I will have us actually email that answer to you as it does get a little bit more in depth than we have time for today. But thank you so much for asking it. Importing and exporting has always been a little bit more of an in-depth thing for us. So I will make sure to save that and we'll be emailing you that shortly. And with that, that is all the questions we have for today. And thank you all so much for being here. And Liz, thank you for the wonderful presentation. So many great details and real life experiences that are just invaluable to the audience.
Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, and as you guys exit the webinar, you will be redirected to our feedback survey. If you do have a moment, we always value your feedback on our trainings as that helps us improve and really offer better trainings for you and other businesses just like you. So if you loved this webinar and want to see more 101 trainings like this on other contracting topics, this feedback survey is your place to let us know. If you have any other ideas for training topics or maybe events you would like us to host, this is also the place where you can let us know and we'll see about getting those out to you. And so, with that, and one final thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon and are gearing up for a great weekend. All right. Bye, everybody.
Amanda, thank you for so much.
Yeah. Bye, Liz.